Friends, this is Lozza from the Baking Mad Gym Addict. Here are 7 quick and dirty tips on how to achieve your first ever food prep session. Tip number 1. Have the right equipment. To achieve shorter food prep sessions, it helps to have large-sized trays, pots and mixing bowls. Size matters. Having 2 or 3 big oven trays will allow you to cook a lot of food in your oven at the same time. Having large-sized pots and mixing bowls will also help you deal with the huge quantities of food more easily. Measuring scales are helpful if you like to weigh your food to exercise portion control. However, the most important equipment to invest in are food storage boxes. Your food boxes need to be durable enough to be used over and over again. Look for boxes which are freezer safe, microwave safe and dishwasher safe. Good quality boxes should not crack or leak. I use Systema's Clip It 1 litre boxes, which holds 4 cups worth of food. These boxes are stackable, have easy to use locking clips and a rubberized seal which will help keep food fresh. It's also BPA free. BPA stands for bisphenol A. This is a chemical in some plastics which can seep into food from containers which are not BPA free. If you are worried about possible health risks from storing food in plastic, use glass or stainless steel containers instead. Remember that although your boxes are filled with food, you don't need to eat the whole box at once. At work, I tend to eat about half a box around 12 p.m. and the rest at 4 p.m. Lastly, even though your food is stored in plastic, you don't have to reheat it in plastic and eat out of plastic. It's nice to eat off a plate every now and then. Tip number 2. Choose your food prepping day. Everyone has different commitments, so choosing which day to food prep will vary from person to person. You'll need a couple of hours to prepare, cook and store all your food, so choose a day when you can prep uninterrupted. I usually have one long food prep every Sunday morning because it fits in with my schedule. Others may choose to food prep twice or 3 times a week and have shorter food prep sessions. The advantage of food prepping more than once a week means that there is a chance to add more variety to your meals. For example, you may want to prep a big pot of soup on Sunday, then make a big tuna salad on Wednesday, and then cook up some chicken on Friday. Choosing which days to food prep will depend on personal preferences and lifestyles. Tip number 3. Choose how many meals you will make. The number of meals to be prepped may change from week to week. Do you just want to prep lunches like me, or will you become a hardcore food prepper and also prep all breakfasts, dinners and snacks? My husband and I usually eat one food prep box during the day. However, if we happen to eat out at lunchtimes, the food box can be saved for evening dinner. When you're planning how many meals to make during your food prep session, another tip is to look at your diary and identify any social engagements you may have organised for that week, as this may also affect how many meals you need to prepare. If you are a beginner to food prepping, I would recommend preparing only 3 lunches in advance to begin with. This means you will have less food to cook, which will simplify the whole food prepping process. Once you get comfortable with food prepping 3 lunches, you can increase the number of meals you make. Practice makes perfect. The more you food prep, the easier it becomes. Don't stress if you have extra meals left in the freezer at the end of the week. It just means you don't need to food prep as much the week after. Tip number 4. Choose what you want to eat and how much. Remember to choose healthy food that you like to eat and will look forward to eating. My favourite clean food is sweet potato. I freaking love roasted sweet potatoes and could eat it all day and every day until the cows come home. For my proteins, I usually choose around 120 grams of chicken, fish or eggs. If you don't have scales to measure your food, this is roughly the size of a deck of playing cards. Other protein options include turkey, prawns, tofu, lamb, beef or kangaroo meat. For my carbs, I usually choose around 75 grams of sweet potato or quinoa. If you're eyeballing the weight of your food, this would roughly be the size of a cupcake case. Other carb ideas include beans, brown rice and wild rice. For my veggies, I usually choose anything green like broccoli, broccolini, spinach, kale, zucchini or asparagus. I personally don't put a limit on how much green veggies I eat and see this as an unlimited food. You will notice that in my previous food prepping videos, I don't bother cooking big elaborate recipes during my food prep sessions. It's easier during a mammoth food prep session to just keep the food nice and simple. Big elaborate complicated recipes can be saved for other occasions. The trick to food prepping is to keep your food simple. Tip number 5. Choose a shopping day and make a shopping list. I choose Sunday as my main day to buy the majority of my groceries. I usually wake up fairly early, grab my trusty rucksack and walk to the local supermarket. I like allocating Sunday mornings to carry out my shopping because it's usually nice and quiet at this time. The advantage of walking to the supermarket means that I get an extra mini workout carrying back all the groceries. A good tip at the supermarket is to load the heaviest items such as tins or chickens on the conveyor belt first. This means I can put the heaviest items on the bottom of my rucksack and the lighter items like grapes or berries on the top of my rucksack. I recommend writing a shopping list of what you will need to buy. Shopping lists are also great because it means you're less likely to forget to buy something if it's written down. The act of writing down a shopping list means that you can approach your grocery shopping in an organised manner rather than wandering aimlessly around the supermarket and being tempted by unhealthy choices. Like a lot of people, I like to save money, and so part of my food prep session involves checking out the special deals happening at my local supermarket. Coles in Australia is pretty good for posting their weekly specials on fruits and vegetables online, and so I usually have a quick look at the Coles website before writing my shopping list. I also like to head over to my local market as there can be really great bargains to be had. The trick is to buy fruit and vegetables which are in season, as these tend to taste better and are generally less expensive to buy. Tip number 6, multitask in the kitchen. If you can do several different tasks simultaneously, it will cut down the time it takes to food prep. The key is to come up with a process in which you have a lot of food cooking at the same time. I like to cook food in the oven because once the food is in, you can forget about it and just set the oven timer. This allows you to do other things while your food is in the oven, such as prepping your next dish or peeling and chopping vegetables. Most people will have 3 layers in their oven, and so think about what else you can cook in your oven at the same time. You will see in my previous video that I had chicken, sweet potatoes, fish and frittata cooking in the oven all at once. Just remember to start with the item which takes the longest to cook. You can set different alarms on your mobile phone if you are cooking different food at the same time. This will ensure that you don't burn or overcook your food. While your oven is doing its thing, use your cooker to make your rice, quinoa or pot of soup. Think of your food prepping session as an assembly line. Once you've prepped one food, move straight on to the next one. Tip number 7. Organise your kitchen and make it more efficient. Having an efficient kitchen will help take some of the stress out of your food prep sessions. I've organised my cupboards so that I can see everything at a glance. This makes things easier to find and grab. I also like using Lazy Susans for my oils and condiments so that I don't knock over everything when I'm trying to find a particular item. I've also organised my kitchen drawers so that when I open a drawer I can instantly see what I need to find. The rubber drawer liners are handy because it means that when I open a drawer, the items don't move around because everything is held in place. I went through a decluttering phase recently when I moved house. If I hadn't used a particular kitchen utensil in the space of 2 months, I got rid of it. This creates more space in the kitchen. You will know what works best for you in terms of making your kitchen more efficient as possible. So there you have it, my 7 tips for beginners. Number 1, have the right equipment and invest in good quality food storage boxes. Number 2, choose a food prepping day when you can cook uninterrupted. Tip number 3, choose how many meals you will make after considering what social commitments you have on that week. Tip number 4, choose what you want to eat and how much. If you're counting calories, remember to weigh your food. Tip number 5, choose a shopping day and make a shopping list. Keep an eye out for any bargains at the supermarket. Number 6, multitask in the kitchen and think of your food prepping session as an assembly line. Tip number 7, organise your kitchen and make it more efficient. Thanks for taking the time to watch my video. If you like what you see, please show your support by liking, commenting and subscribing. If you would like to get to know me better, add me on Facebook and Instagram. Happy food prepping everyone and good luck.